All right. So I guess I'll call it to order. Ex officio member of this commission authority. Like I said before, Denise couldn't make it. She's on another call. Introduction of members. I'm assuming you know everyone.
I don't know Tim.
Tim Benjamin down the.
Mike Cicchetti.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
And Tim is from Litchfield also.
And I know Peter.
And you met Scott.
And I met Scott before.
And I think all those guys know each other already. And for the Morris members, if we could think of another person, we could get them appointed at the March 1st Board of Selectmen's meeting. So if you have any ideas, let me know who might be interested. Okay. We can go into election of officers if you'd like. I believe the offices are chairperson, treasurer, and secretary. I'm not sure if there was a co-chair. I'm not sure if it says anything in the, I don't remember a co-chair. Or if you have, if you want to think about it and wait till next meeting, or just go ahead and do it this meeting.
Yeah.
So Tom, in terms of the treasurer, I mean, there's a separate set of books and accounts and all that for that, because I guess you commingle funds from the two towns, or?
Correct. There's a checking account at Union Savings Bank for the Bantam Lake Authority. And we definitely have to get probably 2 signers on that. Get me off of it because I haven't done anything in 6 years here. So or 7.
I mean, I'd be happy if you want. I can be treasurer. I mean, it's all the same as the protective and the ski club if you want. I mean, it's all set up on my system. If I'll be happy to do it. I can't believe there's a lot of volume.
No, well, there hasn't been. We probably have an outstanding bill down at PJ's down near Bethlehem there, because he's been storing the boat. So he probably has some bill for us. But I don't know how you guys want to do it. Do you want to do an election tonight? Do you want to go for?
No, I mean, we don't have to do it. You don't have to do it tonight. Whatever you want, whatever your pleasure is. But I mean, if you're, I'll certainly help treasurer. If someone else wants to be treasurer, it's fine as well.
I'm fine with having Peter as a treasurer. I'll nominate him.
Yeah, I'd second that. I'm fine with that.
Scott Potbeggar or Peter Longo treasurer.
And then, I mean, in terms
Peter,
of the
do
other
you have
officers, I
any
don't know.
experience with money, Peter, at all?
Any other nominations for treasurer? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All voted aye. I didn't vote. Any other nominations for secretary for chairperson?
Well, do you want to wait for Matt maybe for the next meeting? I mean, I don't know if he wants to be, what his role is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have him.
I agree. I think we can wait.
It may be a new person from Morris too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll come.
At least we have a treasurer.
Yeah, work on some names for Morris. Sure.
And Peter, when do you expect to be back in Connecticut?
Probably in a few weeks or so I'll be in.
Yeah, let me know. We can go to a union, unless you have an account at union already, I'm not sure. If you do,
No, I
you
don't.
don't. Okay, if you do, you have to go and get it signed.
Yeah, that's no problem.
All right. And get sworn in and all that here too.
Okay. I'll let you know. And I'm nothing scheduled yet, but I think it's going to be mid-March.
Okay. Future meetings, how do you want to work it in your schedules?
I mean, right now for me, almost any night works. This is actually a great time for me in terms of my, my commute. So I think, Tom, it's really more you and other people, and for me personally, what works best.
I know, Tim, you mentioned Thursdays weren't good.
Yeah, just generally, I have my son on Thursdays. My wife works late. My only other conflict would be Wednesdays with the ski club meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Once we get
Same
rolling.
here on Wednesdays, but
Yeah.
We could always stay with Wednesdays and change it or go to Tuesdays or something. I mean,
How many meetings do you anticipate, Tom, on a yearly basis?
We used to meet once a month.
Oh, okay.
I guess it depends on how busy the authority wants to get.
Mhm.
And what they want to handle.
yeah, I mean, I think in the beginning, once a month, I think is important just to get it going again, in terms of just, going through sort of what the bylaws were and just talking about stuff since it hasn't. I figure between now and spring, there might be times we might want to meet more than once a month, just depending upon what's coming up,
All right.
you know?
Do you want to
Um,
try to plan for the next meeting then? And go monthly for now, or?
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
I think Tuesdays might be good. Thursday is the Protective Association, Tom. Wednesday is the ski club. So Mondays or Tuesdays would be better for me and Tim, at least, I think.
Mondays and Tuesdays work for me.
Either
How's like
day.
the first Tuesday of the month, or?
Yeah, Monday is not good for me, so Tuesday would work.
So we'll plan on, we'll skip March because the first Tuesday is the first. Do you want to go till April 5th?
Okay, that's fine.
That work?
Works for me.
So April 5th, and we'll go from there when everyone's here. It may change with Matt's schedule and, whoever the other person is. So April 5th, next meeting, 6:30. You want to continue with a hybrid meeting, the Zoom?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, so hybrid.
Sure.
And if people are in town, you're more than welcome to come here. Now, new business, really, I put it down there because the town clerk insisted I put something after new business. But pretty much, yeah, it is. What is the role of the Lake Authority now?
I have a question, Tom. Does the Bantam Lake Authority have a charter, bylaws, any rules,
Well, not really. Created by ordinance. And
ordinance in the statute, and that's pretty much it?
that's pretty much it. I'm gonna look back and any records that I might still have and see what I can find that would, I think the obvious things that we used to do, we oversaw the Lake Patrol. We worked with DEP with Lake Patrol. We used to do the weed harvesting, but all of the operation of kind of protecting the lake in that way, the Bantam Lake Protective Association is doing. And it's worked quite well that way. We marked the rocks out there, and that's something we should talk about.
Yep.
I say we, I'm gonna try to keep getting myself out of here, as we go on. But personally, that's something I think perhaps we should contract out. I just think it's worthwhile that way they get put in, they get taken out. It's really tough to get the volunteers together anymore. But that's something you can talk about.
Yeah.
We also approved marine event permits for the lake, like the ski show, the regattas. We used to do the sailing one, but they just they do their own thing down South Bay now. But
I've been doing that for a long time. too.
yeah.
So,
And then what about, I agree with everything you said. Then one of the questions I had is sort of, where the jams fall under, since, all of us, have been sort of maintaining, taking those in and out. And so now that they're new, that's one of my questions in terms of like, who's going to be responsible for those? Because, I think we all have a vested interest in making sure
definitely.
that the lake heights at the right level, but not too high, and storms.
So in the interlocal agreement between Litchfield and Morris and the Lake Authority, the responsibilities of the Lake Authority, the Bantam Lake Authority shall be responsible for determining the proper water level on Bantam Lake for each season and during storm events. They determine the proper setting of this is old language, proper setting of the hinged crest gate outlet structure, which we don't have. We're back to boards. To maintain the proper water level on Bantam Lake, ensuring that the water discharged to the rivers in such a manner not to cause damage, et cetera. And they'll make recommendations to the interlocal advisory board as to the operation, maintenance, and repairs of the new structure. So there was some questions. I can't remember, Peter, if you were there at the last JAMS meeting. I don't think you made it, Scott.
No, I didn't.
There's some question. Yeah, who would put the boards in? Who would take them out? Right now, they're down to, I think they're 14 feet on both sides.
Yeah, they're 14 feet both sides. So it's, definitely smaller than they were. So,
Yeah.
and also it
very
looks like
doable.
you can almost create a walkway across the way they poured it in terms of just, So people aren't technically going in the water. I mean, they're basically on top of the concrete now. So it's definitely a lot safer than it was, you know,
Yeah.
so unless it's really raging, but I just assumed that the Bantam Lake Authority, like members, we would continue to do it and then get volunteers to help out when necessary. But given that it's 14 feet on both sides, I mean, and I'm assuming we're going to have new jams and everything, that was part of the thing.
Mhm.
So,
Good boards.
I mean, I think it's, still falls to us. And I personally, even if we didn't, I'd still want to have some ownership in it just because living on the causeway. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there was
think,
talk at the last meeting, Tommy's right, about hiring somebody to do it and all. I mean, honestly, just doing it with volunteers works fine. I don't know if there's some legal issues, Mike, or insurance issues, but generally speaking, we can get it done quick and easy with a text to each other and just do it. But again, I don't know if that gets in the way of any kind of liability issues. But
I
like you
thought-
said, Scott, it's safer now than it's ever been, I think.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I thought the last time we were at last meeting, there was some talk about, I think Denise was going to look at insurance issues. Is my recollection correct?
Yeah.
yeah, we can check back with her on
Yeah.
that.
so. Because
Uh,
we're getting into this, in just a few weeks, we'll be getting back into the jam season,
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you told that committee, the other committee, Tom, that the Bantam Lake Authority would take care of the jams, I think they would be happy. And as Scott says, we could rustle up with a text, the group text, we could have people out there in 20 minutes to do it. So again, I mean, but I don't know, I don't want to jump through any hoops and do anything illegal.
yeah. I don't know.
I think we ought to have the insurance question answered first, and then,
I believe,
does this organization have insurance?
well, we're under the municipal insurance. And I think
I mean, there's specific coverage under
to Bantam Lake Authority,
for Bantam Lake Authority in its activities?
there had been because we were doing law enforcement. So I'm not sure if that is still there.
Yeah, maybe it's something we can check on.
So, I mean, I think it's fine for the Lake Authority to continue doing what they've been doing for the past, 30 years or so.
Yeah.
Ever since White Memorial gave it up. That and there was, I think before everyone got on, we were talking about Lake Patrol because we're entertaining the idea of maybe having a part-time resident state trooper here in Morris who would be able to oversee a lake patrol on behalf of the Bantam Lake Authority. So there's thoughts of maybe trying to get that going again. Our current boat is still, I think it's 1995 Boston Whaler, 17 foot Montauk or something.
Yeah.
It needs a new motor. Yeah, the motor has just been shot for years, hasn't been out of storage in quite a while.
I had expressed my thoughts to Tom. I think it's a great idea if we can do something like that, even if it's not a daily presence or every weekend presence, but some presence, obviously depending on the cost involved.
Yeah. I mean, we'd have to hire lake patrol people again, outfit them, all that stuff. I believe there's pretty good amount of money still in the account there to do this. We were kind of saving up years ago for a new motor, thoughts of a new boat, because this one was getting pretty beat up with all the taking the anchors out all those years. And we also entertained the idea of, the boathouse in South Bay that Camp Columbia has.
Mhm.
We had talked with DEP about that, about kind of taking that over, fixing it up and making it into a lake center, for Dam Lake Protective, for BLA, for any of the groups. So there's quite a bit of money there sitting there. So I think there's an opportunity that we could move this forward either through the Morris Resident State Trooper, if we do that, or through the Litchfield Resident State Trooper. We haven't talked to them about that. So there's a lot of work that can be done if.
I think that's some food for thought for the next meeting, but
Yeah.
I think it's something that we ought to at least look at and try and understand, get our arms around it.
I mean, you probably do hear from people that there'd be nice to have some patrol out there. Maybe not, 4 days a week, but on the high times, the hot days and the weekends and the holidays.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
Other than that-
Having a base station like that would be also very cool, Tom. That would be good.
If we can convince DEP to do something, they say it's a historic building, then they let it fall to,
Yeah.
to ruin. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that I'd like to, for this commission to think about, and I'm not sure what Bantam Lake Protective does exactly in terms of water quality. I know they do the weed control, but is there a role for us to try and look at other avenues of improving the water quality of the lake? I know other lakes have done things that have helped a lot, and maybe there's a role for us. I'm not sure. I don't want to step on anybody's toes at the Bantam Lake Protective, but if we could do something or work with them or give them some direction, something we ought to think about as well.
Yeah. Because I guess by ordinance, that is part of the job of
It
the
is, yeah.
Lake Authority.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been on the Protective Association for, years, Mike. They have got lots of data, lots of research, invasive weeds, algae now is a new thing, this watersheds that, they're working on. I mean, so they've got a lot on their plate. The one thing that they've, I think that we could help is circulation. I don't think, the Protective Association has done a lot with circulation. Obviously the jams are one thing, but, getting a flow around Dare Island, getting a flow out of South Bay. I mean, these are big, maybe projects that are a bridge too far, but I think, one way to really improve the quality, I think it's the circulation.
That's right on point, Peter. I know
So-
Lake Warmock has done certain things, and I worked a lot with them in getting their designation as a heritage lake. But they have done a lot of things on their own with a group of just a lot of the owners of lake property. And their circulation devices seem to have helped a lot.
Yeah, that's more of the bubbler system they have. That's more from an algae perspective. When the lake gets atrophic, they trying to send some oxygen down to the lower level. So I'd put that more in the algae, cyanobacteria category, Mike. But certainly it helps in terms of, I think, circulation is a big deal with Bantam because the inland, the outlet is so close. I mean, I was reading that report from the state, Tom. North Bay flushes itself once a month, 12 times a year. The rest of the lake flushes itself maybe 3 times a year, so, but again, it's, you're talking about a major league project trying to take that on, but,
Yeah. Always been a problem.
Yeah, but to your point, Peter, can we just start a process of looking at it?
Yeah, certainly can. I mean, I would pull in the Protective Association as well so that we don't bump into each other. But like I said, I don't really think, they've got their hands full with algae and invasive weeds. And so, yeah, it's certainly something we can do. I mean, again, just utopia, you can run some outlet outside of South Bay through the wetlands around the town garage, through Mill Pond and out, ultimately getting to, what is that, Smoky Hollow, I think, Tom, I forget what they call that, but
Yeah.
that would be beautiful. But I mean, I just don't, I gotta believe it would take massive amounts of work to do it and approvals and regulations, but hey, it's not, there's nothing to say we couldn't at least attack it. So certainly put it on the long list. I agree.
And that's all I'm suggesting. We can get on a long list and begin a process, which probably outlast all of us, but at least get it started.
Yeah, and then, Scott's better equipped to talk about just South Bay, getting a circulation through Palmer Road, and I just don't know how you'd do it, but I think that would help tremendously as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think perhaps a culvert that runs right through Scott's basement out the other side be perfect.
Yep. That'd be perfect.
No
Scott,
problem.
it'd be like a water feature in the house.
Exactly. We should have bought, Blondin's house when, it was up for sale.
Yeah,
When it was
yeah,
a
that
bargain,
would be good.
Hey, one of the things, just
One
talking about
thing
the,
that just, Scott, if I can interrupt, there was a
Yeah.
guy that we hired. I kind of pushed this, Mike, at the Protective Association years ago, before, algae was a big deal. There's a guy, Carl Asimovic, that we hired, and he did some reports on some things about improving the flow of the lake. I'll try to dig those up, but
Yeah, if you could share those with us, I think that'd be a good start.
yeah, okay.
but since we're on new business, one of the things, just getting back to the buoys for a second, Tom, since you and I put them in last year and we never ordered, we were what, like 5 short or something?
Yeah.
From, what we really need. And so that was one of the things I wanted to bring up tonight, just knowing it could take time to get them, but, figuring we're going to need at least 5 or 6 to replace what's missing, not
Yep.
anything that's damaged. Just thinking about that, rope, anchors. I mean, and I agree with you about, subbing it out, since, timing wise, you and I put them in this past year, we didn't get them out, but, but also we're maybe just coming up with a set date. They're in by March 30th and they're out by, October 30th, something like that. But,
Yeah.
might be helpful as well. But I'm sure we could find somebody, to take them in and out, at least get a price, So,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to make sure we were ready for the start of the season. So like, we have them like ready to go. I don't know what the lead time is to get them.
I've got a feeling, since the buoys are still in and they're in the ice, and when it starts shifting, like from north to south with the wind, we're going to lose some anchors at least.
Oh yeah.
So I think we got to be prepared for a lot of new anchors and chain at least, and then probably at least 6 buoys.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go ahead and try finding a good dealer for them, get a price. And
I mean, I have no problem researching it, but I didn't know if, since it goes through the municipality, if there was like, or, I mean, I can look for, vendor and pass it along to the committee and just for pricing. But remember that discussion I had with DEP last year at the launch, and they were giving me a hard time about the size of them, that they were too small. They're 6-inch instead of 7 or something.
I think he retired.
Yeah, he did retire. But so, I mean, I have no problem researching it, and passing it on to the group, just to get some pricing going. So,
Yeah, definitely.
okay.
Yeah, I felt bad about not getting them out on time, but it was just a crazy weather year last year.
Yeah. Well, if my
And
son
then-
hadn't shrunk wrapped the boat so early,
Yeah, and PJ didn't have a boat available either. His little runabout I used to use, and yeah, that's what happened.
So your idea of hiring somebody, Tom, is smart. They'll just, it can't be that much, and just that way you take it off our plate, and it makes sense to me in putting them in and taking them out.
Yeah. I mean,
How many, what's the total of number?
I think there should be about 11 or 12
Yeah.
out there.
yeah.
Can't remember. 4.
I mean, it goes fast.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There should be more, because we're not doing the one that's near the ski jump, which we should do.
Which we should do that one for sure.
There should be 2 on Marsh Point, 2 in Nick's Cove, 4 around Wampasset Rocks, Perch Rocks, of course, the cow and the calf. And I guess that's about it.
Yeah.
There was some talk on the north side of Deer Island, but usually that's only if you get in close,
Yeah, that's only
If you're in that close, you should be fishing with a trolling motor probably.
Yeah. And the other thing is, in terms of just mess, I mean, I know we use chain, but, subbing into using rope instead, it's just a lot cleaner to pull them, in terms of.
Well, we've been leaving them, the anchors in year round with those winter buoys, which
Oh, that's right,
were,
we did. Yeah.
but there was some talk about stainless steel cable too.
So, all right, I'll do
So
some
we-
pricing and
Yeah.
I'll shoot it to the committee in the next few days.
All right. Yeah, as long as they're the right size.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I've dealt with that guy you're talking about. I think
Mike Payton.
Yeah.
He's there a long time.
very unfriendly character.
Yeah, he was a character. Anything else you can think of for this meeting or?
Well, we
No.
touched on it. The only other thing, like Scott mentioned, was in terms of trying to be on top of it for the spring is, do we have a plan for getting the jams in this spring? Do we have the boards ready? Do we know when they want to go in? If we're not going to meet again until early April? I'm trying to remember when we got them in last year. It was around that time, wasn't it?
It was around that time, yeah.
Yeah, it depends on how the rain comes in the spring or if it doesn't come. But I think the
Yeah,
boards are ready at the Litchfield Garage, I believe.
Okay.
You guys remember that?
I think they're storing them there, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully they're
Yeah, I
lined up.
mean, yeah, I mean, because right now, I mean, the lake is, I mean, surprisingly, it's down.
The state of Connecticut, Tim, owns a lumber yard out in Portland or out eastern Connecticut. I don't know how they got a hold of it, but they actually are making the jams for us, right, Tom? And they're going to provide them. I think they were going to order a bunch of extras too.
Yeah, that's right. They talked about extras.
Okay.
But I mean, the boards should last 5 years probably, each board. They should be ready, but we should check on that, like you said, to make sure they are in fact there and they are in fact the right length and all that. Hate for them to be 13 feet instead of 14. But
Yep.
I used to get them up at Harrison Lumber in Morris before he went out of business. And then there's Harrison Lumber up in New Hartford across from Home Depot. He also had native lumber up there too. So if we ever needed them again.
All right. So who's going to just follow to make sure the jams, I mean, that they might be at town garage?
I can check on that with
Okay.
check on the boards.
Yeah.
All right. I'll do that. I'll take care of the minutes for now. Get them, sent out. If you want, I'll do the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay.
Then
And
see
I'll
where
re-
you're
I'll
at with, secretary or whatever.
Okay. Now I'll reach out to PJ regarding the boat as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Okay. I'll reach out. I'll reach out to him because he and I had been talking about some other stuff. So I'll ask him.
Okay. No, anything else?
I'm good.
Oh, good.
I'm good.
Is there a motion to adjourn at 7 o'clock?
I'll make a motion.
Bob Decker, is there a second? Like, all those in favor?
Bye.
Hey,
Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
hey Tim, I'll give you a
Thanks,
call in a minute about the jump.
Sounds good.
All right.